Got it.
Well, welcome to the Improvised dinner party. My name is Robin Wiggs. I'm in London in the UK, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Val Kuhns. Val, could you tell me where you're zooming in from, please?
I'm zooming in from Los Angeles, California, specifically Studio City. I'm about 5 minutes drive time away from Universal Studios.
That's very cool. How often do you drive to Universal Studios?
Not very.
It's a wonderful, painting an image in my head of possibilities there. No, thank you. No, we're going to improvise a 10-minute scene together. That's two people eating. The only fixed point is it's two people eating. It could be any time, any place. Anything is up for grabs apart from the fact that it's two people eating, sharing food in some kind of place or time. I've got two suggestions here. There are two pieces of paper. They are marked one and two. So I did have it with left and right once, and then it got very confusing because who's left, who's right, and so
We're all right.
That's very nice. That's very improv. I enjoy that a lot. Thank you. So Val, would you like to choose one or two?
Two, please.
Right, thank you. So we'll do a 10-minute scene based off what's in this piece of paper, and then we'll have a short chat about improv afterwards. Right, without further ado, what's in the piece of paper is pesto.
Pesto.
I can't get the TV to go on.
Oh. Did you change the batteries in the thing lately?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just. So sorry. I know we should be. I know it's bad. It's just when you get something bugging you in the head, and it's just.
All right, Matt, I confess, I took the batteries out of the remote.
Wow. Okay.
I wanted to spend time with you.
Yeah.
Every night we sit here and we eat and we stare at telly and we don't actually communicate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. Thank you.
I know it's a big time. I know Liverpool and Portsmouth and we're all very important to you, but
you know how much I love Pompey.
Pompey PUP.
And I know it's a problem. I do know it's a problem. I know I put it first. I have an entire room dedicated to Pompey. I understand that.
And honey, I support you as I do. But I need to feel supported too. And I just feel like every single night it's another match. And I want to spend time with you. Is that too much to ask? I mean, I even made your favorite. I made pasta with penne with pesto on it.
Oh, it's the beetroot one, isn't it? It's the
yes.
Pesto. Oh, it smells just like, it's really, because it smells like bacon, and it reminds me of pies on the stands.
Yeah, all the beets were ready to pull, so I pulled them out of the garden.
You did it.
I did. I'm still trying to get used to this UK life and having a garden that I can actually pull beets and a husband who watches soccer on TV. I mean, that's not something we mostly do in America.
I mean,
it's fine. It's fine. Is it?
Yeah.
It's your passion, and I understand that. But at some point in time, the passion has got to take a little bit of a back seat to the relationship. I hope.
I mean, when you came over, Pompey were relegated, and I wasn't as interested in the games. That was the. But I'm sorry.
No,
I am sorry.
Matt, please. No,
I-
please.
No, I am. No, I've done it for too long. I've put personal relationships on the back burner because of this thing that I support, but that doesn't support me. And then I talk to you, and you're trying to reach out, and you're trying to support us, and I'm not doing that. Yeah, I mean.
Here, try the pesto. Go ahead and try the pesto. I'm really curious.
I sounded weary. I didn't mean to sound weary. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I had this theory that, people would support each other in a relationship, and they would find their passions, and then I look around, and I suddenly see that I haven't been there.
Well, you have. I mean, I've gotten used to the idea of having a blue and white house and blue and white furniture, and
Oh, this is amazing.
oh, I'm so glad you like it.
Good.
See, when you've been watching games, I've actually been going to a cooking class and learning how to cook, and now I know what a marrow is. We don't have those in America. I had no idea what it was.
Because it's like they're like the courgette is like a zucchini, isn't it? And then it
Yeah.
grows.
Yeah.
Did you just not let them grow, or do they not grow?
Oh, we have zucchini, of course, and a courgette is a zucchini, but a marrow is like one, but it's different.
Oh.
It's kind of like the way that you and I are similar and yet different. You know what I mean? There's so many things that we need to learn about each other still.
I didn't even know you had a passion.
I love to cook. I love to garden. I've never had a garden, and it was just, I mean, I used to have herb pots in the kitchen, but I always wanted to have my own garden. I mean, if you looked out back.
No. Well, I mean, I went into the garden to kick the ball against like that game I showed you from '73, the quarterfinal, where the ball just goes right into the top, and there's like this tiny bend on the ball. So I was, when I was outside trying to replicate that, because Healy's goal was just,
Yeah.
It's too much, isn't it? I mean, you've given up a lot coming over here. You've given up friends, you've given up family, and I feel
I needed a new start, and the minute I met you, I was just in love. And here was a chance to try new things and be with new people and fulfill a couple of dreams, and
it was absolutely beautiful, pesto.
oh, so glad you like it.
Oh, okay. All right. What I'm going to do for a week, no, a month, a whole month, there is going to be no TV on. There is going to be nothing. We are just going to talk and learn things about each other.
At night?
Yeah. At night. Yeah. Every night. No, I'm all in on this now. Okay, I've realized how much you've given up, and I've realized how much I have been ignoring I have been ignoring everything. I want to know everything. I want to know everything about you. I want to know. I don't even know your shoe size. I don't know what type of hat you prefer. I don't know I don't even know what your birthstone is. I don't know what your blood type is. I want to know absolutely everything about you, Talia. I want to know it all. Tell me everything.
Matt, that's wonderful. And yes, we will get to that. But I've signed up for these cooking classes now, and I'm in cooking class at least 3 nights a week, sometimes 4.
Oh.
I'm really hoping that they turn into something like maybe I could be a chef in a restaurant somewhere, or maybe even own my own restaurant.
Oh. I mean, that's a very busy life, isn't it? Being a chef in a restaurant. And is there any space on those cooking courses at all? I mean, it'd be a bit late, I guess, but I could sign up. I could come along.
Oh, they're awfully full. It's really hard to get in. I mean, you actually have to pass a test to get in. You have to do this whole, they ask you, you have to show that you already know the fundamentals of cooking.
Oh. I mean,
No microwaves in the place.
No toasters.
No.
Um,
No, even if we have toast, we'll actually do it over an open fire.
Oh wow! Oh, that is advanced, isn't it? That's Michelin star. Michelin or Michelin?
Michelin.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe.
But I have tonight free.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm here now. I made you pesto.
You did. I love it. I love you. It's wonderful.
I love you.
It's really good.
I'm so glad.
And I'm so pleased you're finding a life here.
Oh, and I had this afternoon, I had tea with Dahlia, and she was just going on and on about these fabulous recipes that she had.
Oh, okay.
I've told you about Dahlia, haven't I?
You didn't tell me that you met up with my ex, no.
Oh. Sorry.
You two are getting on well, are you?
She's been fabulous. She's been a great help.
Oh.
She asked me about you today, and I said that you're wonderful, and then I told her about the promotion at work, and
Really is lovely pesto. Thank you very much, Val.
you are very welcome.
That is a relationship I would not like to be a part of.
I think they could work it out eventually.
Yeah. I think he was a little too absorbed. I'd just love to see their first meeting, actually.
They both reach for the same bottle of pesto.
Yeah. Maybe it was a supermarket situation. Yeah. Maybe a Pompey player transferred to an American side, and he was over. And yeah, maybe that's what happened.
Anything could, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'd like to have a short chat with you, Val.
Sure.
Please, about how you got started in improv would be the first question.
So there was a group of women who called themselves Chickspare, and they would do all female improvised Shakespeare. And I have a friend who is a singer-songwriter, but at the time he was also the manager of a company called Comedy Sports here in Los Angeles. And Chickspare was they would play every Friday night, I think it was, at Comedy Sports. And it was lovely because they had a courtyard and everybody would bring their own food and drinks, and we would sit and they would do this in the round. And I was just like, I want to do this. And my friend Phil happened to be walking by when I said that, and he says, we have classes, right? What? And then a teacher there said to me, you play smart like Impro Theatre, you need to go and take classes at Impro. And I've been at Impro ever since.
Ooh, what has been your favorite thing? Would you want to just tell people a little about Impro, just in case they don't know?
So Impro Theatre is different than almost any other improv company there is, in that it's very theatrical, long form, often in it's narrative style, often in a genre of some sort. So they're very famous for doing Jane Austen, for instance, in which everybody wears costumes and does a full-length play in the style of Jane Austen. And some people, when they hear things like this, well, how do you rehearse this? So how is this improvised? Well, we take the tropes of whatever genre it happens to be it Jane Austen, Twilight Zone, Western. I mean, there's a million of them that we've done. And you learn the tropes of that. What are the character types? What are the kind of story arcs that go on within this particular genre? And then once you've learned those, once you've learned the language of that particular genre, you can go anywhere with it. You can have a blast with it. And I've done everything from horror to play unscripted to, as a matter of fact, I'm starting a run of play improvised this coming weekend. And I've done fairy tale, musicals. Musicals the hardest because we make up the music and the story.
There's so many skills involved in musical improv, isn't there? I mean, just being able to do all those things at once.
It's kind of a mind blower.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite out of the genres, or is that a difficult question?
I like doing play improvised because it leaves us a little more open. It makes it also the hardest because you don't have a character type or something to fall back on. Like with Jane Austen, it's very regimented. You know that there's going to be unwed women. There's probably going to be a priest of some kind or a minister, because CV would let them get married. And there's probably going to be some kind of scalawag, and there's going to be some stiff Mr. Darcy type, and so you have that formula to work with, and you just work with it from there. So it's a little safer. With play, basically we studied some of the contemporary playwrights of the past 20 years and learned how things are working in the world of theater today. And then we use that, but we don't have any character types to work with. We don't have any story or generalized story arcs, and it could be almost anything.
So would you decide on any kind of playwright beforehand, or would you just pick up the styles? Would you just pick up the style from what people are doing when they come onto stage?
Yeah, it's pretty much pick up the styles in general of what these things are like. So
would you within one play, would you use one style of one playwright, or would you mix and match?
No, we mix them all up because within the modern playwrights, there is kind of an underlying thread of how they all work. So that's we've looked at a lot of instances of magical realism seem to be happening right now in modern theater. So we touch those about having a character that can only be seen by one other person, having an inanimate object talk, that kind of thing.
It sounds like a fascinating kind of almost an academic playground as well.
Yes, it's improv in general is a very academic playground. Sometimes I say it's, especially with one teacher in particular, but it's kind of like graduate school for improv, because we're going into all of these theories and how things work and why they work, and how these people. Tennessee Williams is another big one that we use, and all the archetypes for that, because he actually, and then Shakespeare is another one we used. I was actually in a show that was nothing, it was based on the Roman tragedies of Shakespeare. We decided to narrow it down. And what makes a Roman tragedy? You know, how did Shakespeare form a Roman tragedy? And a lot of it's historical, and a lot of it is he made it up as he went along. You know.
Cool. You also do scripted things as well, don't you? In terms of podcasts, I mean.
Yes, I have a podcast. It's called Cue Footsteps, CUE, like you're cueing because there's a lot of Foley, as you can imagine, in radio. And it's an homage to the radio dramas of the 40s and 50s. Mostly mysteries. All mysteries. Come to think of it. Because that's my particular passion. I've been writing mysteries since I was a little kid.
What first got you into that? Just reading them and getting really interested in
Nancy
them?
Drew.
Hey, okay, yeah, cool.
I started reading Nancy Drew when I was 7.
And you've recently changed the format of the
Yeah, we decided, let's face it, I decided, we're doing, I was intrigued and amused by and entranced by Only Murders in the Building. And Only Murders in the Building took 10 episodes to do the arc of one story. So it's like, I wonder how that would work in radio using the idea that we're based in 1948. And we're having a blast with it because it's ensemble work, and I'm really blessed to have a very tight ensemble, and being able to write this and being, and I'm writing as I'm going along. I don't have this 10 episodes pre-written. I just finished writing episode 8, and we're going to be reading episode 8 tomorrow. And just finding all the little looks and keeping in the back of my head all of the talk that went around Only Murders in the Building about, oh, is this a big piece of the puzzle, or is this a big piece of the puzzle? And it turns out they're all red herrings, and how can I build red herrings into it? So it's been a great learning experience for me, as well as a hell of a lot of fun.
I bet it has. I'm imagining you have a kind of cork board on a wall somewhere with things stitched to it. Or is it...
They're individual pieces of paper I lay. No cork boards. I have no room in my apartment for cork boards. Thank you very much.
I remember at one point I was deciding to get into some kind of writing, and I got a very large whiteboard, which then I realized couldn't actually be hung on the wall because it was a partition wall, and it wouldn't actually take it because it was very, very heavy. So it is still sitting behind a desk somewhere. But the intention was there. So
right.
That was something.
But did I storyboard the thing before I started? Yes. You really need to. You really need to know where you're going.
Yeah, no, I bet you do. Have you had found any surprises about doing it in that as you've gone on, compared to doing it sort of long with long?
Yeah, because the other way we do episodically. So each, like the particular show we're doing right now is called Crime Without a Script. And that's because the ensemble are a bunch of radio actors who have found themselves embroiled in a murder. Cool. So they don't have a script for this particular crime, which is where the name comes from. Before that, we were doing an entirely fictionalized one called The Adventures of William Ruby, Private Detective. And in that very episodic. So, anybody could come in and listen at any particular time, and they'll know all the characters, and they don't have to worry about they missed something. But this one is very much episode cliffhanger at the end of the episode, and the next one starts with in the previous episode, so we can keep everybody caught up.
Cool. And you can get that on iTunes and normal
iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff.
Yeah. Is there anything coming up that you'd like to talk about as well?
Impro Theatre is doing, like I said, we're opening live for the first time in almost 3 years. We'll be on the stage. We are doing Play Improvised, and that's running the first 3 weekends in November. And then coming up in January, I'm going to be doing, I'm directing, producing an improvised show called Smith and Weston. And that'll be available through Impro Theatre. They have a YouTube channel, and it's Smith and Wesson is along the lines of Firefly or Farscape, so it's a Western science fiction conglomerate.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. So
Hopefully.
is that the virtual studio? So I saw a post on Facebook.
Yes,
for that.
that's the
Yeah.
virtual studio.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Oh, cool.
And that's Impro Theatre with an RE because that's the building, not the company.
Yes, I remember being very confused by that the first time I saw it. Yeah. Okay. So it was just before we go, could you clarify the use of the theatre, the RE and the ER in the US?
Yes. So theater is the place where you go into.
Yeah.
RE.
Okay. Yeah.
And theater is theater. You know, the people, the play, you know.
And that's within.
That's what I was told. I could be wrong.
That
But yes, if
sense.
theater RE, Impro Theatre is the building where did you go into.
Okay, cool. Well, it's nice to finish on a fact. So thank you very much, Val.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast.
Oh, thank you for coming. And if you'd like to do one of these, just comment on the video below, and I'll get in touch and we can set something up. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much, Val. Bye bye, everybody.
Ta for now.
Ta-da.